I've said this before, I really think he's suffering from dementia, and it's got him just lashing out at people constantly.
Yeah, I'm sure you think that, because people who lash out at other people usually have dementia. I thought Pritzker was a failed lawyer. I didn't realize he was a failed doctor, too. Let me ask you something, Pritzker. What did you think of Joe Biden?
He's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
It was unhinged. Watching his press conference today, he just fell apart. I've said this before, I really think he's suffering from dementia.
Wow, Trump fell apart, huh? Let's see what that looked like.
Thank you very much for being here. The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country.
Well, yeah. Clearly he's out of control, completely unhinged. We would do much better with a more relaxed president.
And what does he do? He turns to yet another statute that allows tariffs in certain circumstances, and now he intends to reimpose these tariffs that are truly devastating small businesses. And as you saw, $1,700 per family. These are working families, $1,700.
Oh, Trump's going to find a workaround for this Supreme Court ruling he didn't like? How terrible. Has he no respect for the court? This is nothing like the time that crooked Joe Biden decided he was going to forgive student loans after the Supreme Court told him that he couldn't do that. Frankly, the way the American judicial system has been clearly weaponized against President Trump for these many years, it's amazing to me he shows any deference to the courts whatsoever. And as for Jelly Belly Pritzker caring about working families, he's one of the tyrants who decided who had an essential job and who was going to have to starve their children during the scamdemic. So spare us your feigned concern. Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison wants to fire 2 of his officers because they had the audacity to contact federal agents while detaining illegal aliens.
Say what?
Say what?
In the first instance, Officer James Coursey called Border Patrol during a traffic stop while detaining someone with a felony warrant. In the other, Sergeant Denise Wallet contacted the feds for translation service. In both cases, the suspects ended up being detained by federal agents. So what's the problem? Detroit PD's policies are the problem, evidently. They prohibit cooperating with immigration authorities for enforcement purposes. Think about that. American law enforcement agents being prohibited from cooperating with other American law enforcement agents.
That doesn't make sense.
And of course, this is common in America today. So the Detroit Police Commissioners Board in this case voted to suspend both officers without pay for 30 days for their egregious acts. But Chief Bettison said he wanted to fire them. The chief released a statement which noted that policies are meant to provide structure and limits for officers to protect them and citizens alike. Citizens? Don't you mean illegal aliens, Chief? He went on to say that when policies aren't followed, whether it's in this matter or, say, a violation of their department's no pursuit policy, it puts the community at risk. What a bunch of bullshit. First of all, a no pursuit policy is a signal to every asshole in the city that they don't have to stop for the police. That puts the community at risk because people who run from the police are usually wanted for something more than a mere traffic violation. And you know what else puts the community at risk? Not helping the feds remove criminal aliens from your community. In other words, Chief, your policies. And Detroit needs all the help it can get. Back in 2014, then Chief James Craig urged citizens to arm up to fight crime. But it seems Bedison is pro-crime. That's not surprising, really, given that police chiefs answer to the mayor, and Detroit's mayor, Mary Sheffield, is a social justice warrior. And social justice is not justice. But this kind of crap is happening all across our country. It's what the left calls sanctuary policies, a euphemistic term that sounds nice while obscuring the truth. These so-called sanctuary jurisdictions are really just outlaw cities and states. By declaring themselves a safe haven for illegals, they're making it clear that a societal hierarchy exists, and ordinary American citizens are at the bottom of that list. Police officers obviously must follow their department's policies. But when the policies put the community at risk, as is the case here, the people need to step in and vote out the fools who are responsible for those policies.
You have called for abolishing ICE. What do you say to Democrats who argue that goes too far?
Well, what has gone too far is this president. He has worked outside of the confines of the Constitution. We have filed multiple pieces of litigation against this president because he has overreached, and we have prevailed. And every lawsuit that he has put forth against our city, we have beat back.
What has Trump done with ICE that is unconstitutional? Seriously. It must be very time-consuming to create an entire imaginary world to live in so you can just drop out of reality like that. It's kind of impressive, actually.
We have seen this president circle Black Hawk helicopters over apartment buildings on the south side of Chicago.
Black Hawk helicopters? I wonder why.
Where long guns were placed in the faces of black women and children were zip tied. A black man was put into an illegal chokehold, which we know an illegal chokehold is a death sentence for a black man in this country. That has gone too far.
Did the man die? I'm guessing not, because he didn't mention it.
This president is not serious about immigration reform. He's certainly not serious about education.
The only immigration reform, as Brandon puts it, that Trump really talked about was securing our border and deporting illegal aliens. I'd say he's proved he's serious about that. And as for being serious about education, this from the mayor of Chicago, a city in which fewer than 1 in 3 public school students read at grade level. Kristen Welker should ask him what he's doing to stop the continual violence in his city. In 2024, he had 2,274 shootings and 587 murders. Of course, then Trump got back in office and crime went way down, so yeah, she's not going to ask him that.
Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thong.
I am told this is a garbage disposal.
the law firms, the universities, the media. I agree with you, Preet. It's not going to end well for them. For those that decided that it was, that they would act in their perceived very narrow self-interest, which I would underscore is very short-term self-interest, and take a knee to Trump. I think they're now starting to realize, wait a minute, this is not popular. Trump is not popular. What he is doing, whether on the economy and affordability or on immigration now, is not popular. And that there is likely to be a swing in the other direction. And they are going to be caught with more than their pants down. They're going to be held accountable by those who come in opposition to Trump and win at the ballot box.
So the elite lawyers, university staff, and members of the media and corporations are going to pay a price when communists, formerly known as Democrats, retake power, unless of course they fought Trump tooth and nail, then they'll be left alone. But if they acted in their own self-interest, Democrats are going to be coming after them. That's interesting because I can't think of a single thing Democrat politicians have done that were not in their own very narrow self-interest. And these are people who are supposed to be acting in the interests of those they purport to serve. And when these elites, Miss Rice refers to, acted in their own self-interest when Democrats were in power, like when the media lied to us about not having a vegetable for a president, what price did they pay? Rice says Trump's actions are unpopular, but with whom? Every president is unpopular with certain segments of the population. For example, I've noticed Republican presidents are very unpopular with Democrat politicians and pretty much all members of the media. It's interesting that Rice is decrying elites that bend the knee to Trump when it's always an elite like her that goes public to tell us, the little guy, about how the little guy is getting screwed. How come we never hear from the actual little guy? Let's give some airtime to the normies who, I don't know, can't get an ID or who were unlawfully denied the right to vote or unlawfully deported. I want to hear their stories directly from them, not from elites like Susan Rice. But of course, we haven't heard from any of these people for the same reason we haven't ever seen a unicorn.
If these corporations think that the Democrats, when they come back in power, are going to play by the old rules and say, oh, never mind, we'll forgive you for all the people you fired, all the policies and principles you violated, all the laws you've skirted. I think they've got another thing coming.
Presumably, Rice is referring to the abandonment of DEI when she talks about policies and principles being violated. But laws skirted, as she puts it, are not laws broken. No matter, vindictive Democrats will not forgive corporations for making business decisions in compliance with the law that are in keeping with the expectations of the current presidential administration and their own financial best interests. No matter who is in power, corporations must adhere to the dictates of the Democrat Party or face its wrath and retaliation.
The streets will flow with the blood of the non-believers.
But Trump is the dictator.
When Trump thought, okay, I'll redistrict and the Democrats won't have the guts to play hardball, they're going to be surprised. Democrats have had a belly full, and we're not going to play by the old set of rules when these guys are playing by a very different set of rules. We're going to play by the law, but we're not going to violate the law the way they do, but we're not going to be suckers.
The redistricting Rice is talking about is being done in an attempt to level the playing field. Rice knows that Democrats have gerrymandered the shit out of their states for years in a way that's made it almost impossible for Republicans to get adequate representation. The different set of rules Rice is talking about simply amounts to Republicans doing a bit of gerrymandering of their own. She's just frustrated that her team no longer has a monopoly on the practice.
Whether you're a law firm, whether you're a university, whether you're a media entity, or whether you're a big corporation, whether you're big tech, you need to play a long game, not this short game that has been so detrimental.
Again, she just rattles off this list of elite institutions that Democrats have enjoyed ruling over with an iron fist up until Trump's second term. She then follows up with a veiled threat to those who dared to go against the will of the Democrat machine. These institutions won't be forgiven, she assures us. She seems to believe that Democrats have the title deed to the moral high ground. Accordingly, we must all stay in their good graces, I guess, lest we risk failing to secure their forgiveness and mercy.
There will be an accountability agenda. Companies already are starting to hear they better preserve their documents. They better be ready for subpoenas. If they've done something wrong, they'll be held accountable. And if they haven't broken the law, good for them. If they've done the right things, good for them. That also will be noted and remembered. But this is not going to be an instance of forgive and forget. The damage that these people are doing is too severe to the American people and to our national interest.
An accountability agenda? Buckle up, America. Because when Democrats get back in power, they're going on a revenge tour. If you follow the law, good for you. It really won't matter though, because we'll still find a legal way to crush anyone who went against the will of their morally superior overlords in the Democrat Party. The impotent rage of the left may seem pathetic now, even laughable, but if these scoundrels regain power, they'll be out for blood. Fortunately, most Democrats, like Miss Rice here, aren't very smart.
You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.